this video, I'm going to show you how to create the sky-colored gradient before I paint a portrait on it. And today I'm working on ampersand gesso board, and this is a 12 by 16. So I lay the gesso board flat, like horizontal, and squirt a little bit of acrylic cerulean blue onto the top and just a teeny bit of this lemon yellow. This is all acrylic paint. It's actually archival to use acrylics underneath oils. I'll be doing the portrait in oils. I take a bit of excess yellow off. Just a little bit of yellow is all that's needed. And I'm out of acrylic white, so I'm just going to use some acrylic gesso. And I just squeeze some of that on as well. And by the way, the most important step is right at the end, so make sure to watch at the end because I'll show you how to get rid of the brush stroke ridges. And then using a broad 2-inch synthetic brush, I start to spread the paint around. I'm mixing a little bit of the white gesso. Mine's white gesso. You could be using white acrylic paint as well. I mix a little bit of the white into the cerulean blue, and I'm using sort of horizontal strokes at this point. The canvas is turned on its side for you visually, but it'll eventually be a vertical portrait. And so my brush strokes are going kind of horizontally right now. And as I move down the canvas, I mix a little bit more white into the blue so that progressively, as the color moves down, the canvas, in this case it's a panel, it progressively gets a little bit, lighter, basically essentially as it moves towards the horizon line of the sky. And that's what happens in sky. It sort of gets a little bit lighter and a little bit, sort of more yellowy. And so as I'm moving to the bottom, now I mix a bit of the yellow and white together with just a drop of the blue and start to kind of smooth out the transition between the two. I'm still using primarily horizontal strokes at this point. I didn't speed this video up at all. Like, I wanted you guys to be able to see kind of how rapidly I'm working. And I'm working really rapidly because the acrylics start to dry quickly. Now, as this final stage, it's so important to get rid of the brush strokes. And so I'm doing these teeny light little brush strokes just across the top surface. And they're in like different directions. You can see I'm kind of twisting and turning my brush so that it goes in different directions, and it's smoothing out the horizontal ridges, because the last thing in the world you want is a huge horizontal ridge cutting through like the eye of your portrait all the way across the whole painting. So at the end you kind of do these light little like strokes in various directions, and they're short strokes too, so you'll never get a long line of the ridge of a brush stroke cutting through the whole face. And I'm using like a light feathery touch. And actually I didn't put the paint on too thick either. Like, I put enough paint on, and I didn't use that much water, just a little bit of water on my brush in the beginning, but it's not thick application of paint. So turning it vertically, you can kind of see how this is going to work as a sky color behind a portrait that I'm going to paint.